Welcome to another incredible episode of the Papi and Chulo show. Finally, together again, my friend. Together again, ladies and gentlemen. The Papi and Chulo, the originali, los amigos de Steubenville, now far apart, but never separate. Never, far apart, but never too far, Just things have changed, and it's a beautiful time in the year that we always get to see each other. Well, this will be the second time, and hopefully it continues. We will always get to see each other. Maybe I'll invite you to my wedding the next time.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Whenever that is,
Yeah. I will say it is really cool to be able to come back here, kind of have a nostalgic moment of being in Steubenville again, smoking cigars and just chatting it up, just like back in the day,
Yeah, a couple of things have changed. Maybe some might say my attire. I've gotten a little bit.
I mean, it looks like you went out into the wilderness and killed like a wolf or something. I don't know what you did over there.
Things happen, man.
Things happen.
I've been on the carnivore diet, and ever since then, it's just changed a lot.
Okay.
About me, yeah.
Did you kill the animals themselves, or?
No comment. There's a lot of vegan fans that or PETA fans that I know we have fans of, so I'll keep it to myself. But dude, yes, what a beautiful, again, annual event. The second just content creator conference. The
Catholic Content Creator Conference.
Oh, it's titled as, no, I'm pretty sure it's just
Catholic Creator Conference.
All right, you would know more. So following here this lead, and I'm happy that it's happening, and it's just awesome. I was just getting my little skip to my step as the days got closer. I remember having a blast last year. I remember we had such vigor right afterwards. We had maybe taken a half year off because you had just gotten married, and we probably produced like 4 videos right after that. But this time again, tis life. You have something that you're going to share in a bit.
Yeah.
That took a little hiatus for us, but again, we're here, and an opportunity to do studio time because it's provided in the Content Creator Conference package, and we're taking full advantage of it. My friend Chulo.
Yes, sir.
Married to Mrs. Chula.
Yeah.
What's the big news, man?
Well, the big news is that there is now a baby chulo.
Chulito.
A little chulito, that's right.
My
yeah,
goodness.
Chulito's around. We call him White Chulito because he looks just like me, but has this the skin color of my beautiful Irish wife. So so it's White Chulito. It's awesome to be a father, man. It really does change the perspective of life, and not just that, man, but something happens in you that throws everything off and allows you to restart as a father. So one of the big things that most people will know if you're a parent is sleep and lack of sleep. So I've always been the guy that I need 8+ hours of sleep every night. If I get 6 hours, I cannot function. I think in the last 6 weeks, the longest stretch of sleep that I've got was about 4 hours. Oof. So it's been something, but it's God's design, man. I'm telling you, it something changes in you where you're able to function, and you're in the trenches, and being in the trenches, taking care of this child who's helpless, really allows you to grow closer to your wife, and it adds a whole other dynamic to it, and you have to be more intentional about loving each other, and not just intentional, but you have to, when you're going through something difficult in life, and you're on the same page and bouncing off of each other, it really builds a stronger bond between husband and wife, man. It's amazing. I can see how people can get lost in raising a child and forget the spouse, but if you find someone who you truly love and are on the same page, it's like music, man. It's like dancing. You're going back and forth. One of the things that we do is we both get frustrated with baby when he's crying and he won't stop crying and something's wrong. And the moment I get to my breaking point, I just hand him off, and she takes him and takes care of him until she reaches her breaking point, and then I take him, and it just goes back and forth, and it's this dance to where we're balancing each other out. Mm-hmm. But it's beautiful and it's worth it. I will say it truly is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. It really is. And my history. I've had 4 diagnoses of cancer in my life. Multiple surgeries, a couple of rounds of radiation, being a parent, especially the first 2 weeks, it was truly the most difficult thing of my life. And it pushes you to your limit. As a husband and as a father, you truly give everything you have and then more. It's something I don't know if you can actually understand until you're actually living it.
And it's something that I'm envious of, but hopefully one day. Here, let me hook you up, my friend. So, the issue of sleep. I hate to say that even as a single bachelor, I still have lack of sleep. It's usually my fault. And I hear these poor fellows like yourself, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? like I know when I get sleepy, I should fall asleep. But it's just so, I'm sure all you single bachelors, late 30s, know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know, we could do better, sure. In regards to the baby dude, congrats with that.
Thank you.
I love the picture that you sent me. The baby looks like a Muay Thai fighter where his hands were like literally like this, and he looked like he was saying like, "Wah!" and to which I responded, okay, he is ready for Muay Thai training in Thailand.
Well, I will tell you this. A Muay Thai mat, before I left Steubenville, he actually gave me some Muay Thai pads from his old gym that they were getting rid of. So I still have those. And what I'm planning on doing is as soon as Chulito is able to walk around, and little kids at some point they start kicking and punching things. I'm gonna say you're allowed to kick and punch, but you're only allowed to hit these things. And I say if you hit anything else, you will get hit back, and the pads will hit back. So as a cute, disciplined way, but
as a good Latino father would and should, okay,
in a respectful manner, my friend, in a respectful manner. But it gives me a perspective of fighting itself in a whole new way, because now I get to train a little kid, a little Chulito, to be self-disciplined. And metaphorically and in different ways in life, you're going to get punched in the face, and preparing them for that, preparing for the hard things in life, and being okay with getting hit and getting back up. Just like Rocky says, it's not about how hard you get hit, it's not about how hard you can hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Pushing forward.
Exactly. So
forward.
It adds a whole new meaning, man. It's just like watching movies, listening to music. It adds a whole new perspective. Muay Thai adds a whole new perspective. I did have to put my membership on hold for a few months, to raise money for baby. But the cool thing about it is now I get to go back and again, a new perspective. Yeah.
Dude, funny you're talking about that, how just the fighting world really does make you reach a limit, a point that you never knew you would ever reach. You're exhausted, you're getting beat up in front of your friends, and it won't stop for another 60 seconds.
Yeah.
That seemed like a lifetime.
Yeah.
When you're in there for 60 seconds. For just 3-minute rounds sometimes, and that's a lot, 3-minute rounds. And when I was applying for a mission trip to Nigeria, funny enough, it was a well-organized children's home, and the chaplain of the children's home WhatsApped me and FaceTime me and asked me, because he saw in my application that I did as a hobby kickboxing.
Yeah.
People understand kickboxing over Muay Thai. And he's like, how did that influence your spiritual life? I was like, Padre, I call every father Padre. Padre, I have never heard that question. But funny enough, I literally was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
When I started with Muay Thai, kickboxing, I hurt a lot. I was heavy set. I wanted, not necessarily to quit, but during the exercise, during the training, I did want to quit. And lo and behold, I lived up to the challenge. It felt great. It felt like an accomplishment. And then I won. I started winning. So that taught me that there's something that's hard, pushes me to the limit, and I could win.
Yeah.
And in that scenario, you either could become somebody into the fetal position, or you could live up to the challenge. And isn't the spiritual life the same way? The life hits you hard, and you could literally get into the fetal position.
Curl up.
Many people have left homes, like in your situation, but you're not. You're staying in your situation. You love your family. You love your wife, your kids, and you're living up to the challenge. So that's how I compared it to to Padre, and it helped me so much more in my spiritual life. I would say it made me think, oh, okay, if this is where I think I am at a max, actually, how much more at a max can I possibly be? So it made me curious.
Yeah.
Made me curious.
Yeah, the spiritual life and the discipline of combat sports are a lot more alike than people actually think. I think Catholicism itself is actually pretty in line with combat sports. I know, there's like people out there like, you're hurting each other, but if you realize
it's an act of love.
The art,
It
really, well, I mean, you're trying to make me better. I remember the times when you and I would spar when we started doing Muay Thai together. There were times when I would make a mistake. And I would accidentally kick you a little too low and give you a low blow, and I saw the fury in your eyes, and I thought, all right, my error hurt someone, and now I must be disciplined for this thing. And I knew that when you were coming back, you were not coming back with a couple of
with
easy
nice
punches.
Intentions.
Exactly. But I will say this: you would come back and you would get a few solid strikes on me that would rattle me, and then I'd be like, all right. You good? You good? All right, we're set. Let's keep going.
All right, man.
So,
beautiful memories, man.
Yeah.
The body doesn't react that way anymore. The body's a little slower.
A lot slower, right?
Hey, man, I'm going to tap you now. Okay, you tap me. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's a little slower these days. But
you know what we should do at some point for the audience? We should actually record a little sparring session between you and I.
We can do it right now, dude.
I
can take this off.
These pants are too stretchy, man. I can't throw any high kicks right now.
All right, for the next episode, episode in the future then. Dude, I can happily report that I just came from 4 weeks in Peru. Yeah. And I told you this before I left, and it was pretty much everything that I hoped for. It was a business trip, business pleasure, family, and my cousin's wedding, and then always visiting the children's home that I always...
I was going to ask you, did you get a chance to see the children?
Yeah, man. So first, like business, I mean, we have a hotel in the Miami of Peru, pretty much. And my dad also expanded and bought some property elsewhere in the jungle of Peru. And my siblings and I, we talked to each other, and we were like, man, he's just off the walls. He's like not even consulting us sometimes. He has gotten better about consulting us. He's like, he'll call us before, hey, I'm going to do this, okay? You cool with it? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, go for it. But we realized it's okay. We have a very entrepreneurial father. Let's just make sure we keep up to his pace. Administratively, because if you try to build something, let's make sure he's hiring an architecture. Let's make sure he's not playing architecture. Yeah. Let's make sure he's doing has all the right contacts, doing everything right, and then when he's managing the place, we usually are the ones that run the ship. So it's been pretty awesome. I also got to see my mom and dad in full business tactical mode.
Wow.
My dad was negotiating first for a property with a guy who wanted to sell it at $35K. It's a property right in front of the hotel, and for $35K dollars. He was willing to say $32K. My mom arrived like 30 minutes in. I'm listening to the whole thing. I would have thought my mom would have said like, okay, $33K and that's it. My mom said, like almost chastising my father, we agreed to $30K. I don't even know why you're saying $32K. What are you thinking? I was like, oh, is this really going on? It was after the fact that I learned that it was part of their negotiating tactic. My mom is the firm hand. My dad is the loose, let's negotiate.
Good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop, man. And it was beautiful to see mom and dad do that, papi and mommy. And then my cousin's wedding, last minute, a groomsman fell through. They asked me. I fit right in. It was awesome.
Is that what you were wearing there with the fur and everything?
No. It was a beautiful navy suit that I also got custom fit in Peru while I was there. And I'll be wearing some of the other custom fit suits later this week at the conference. So maybe we'll somehow post that. And then, dude, the last week was just the children's home. For those who don't know, during the COVID pandemic in 2020, there's a children's home that I always visited or volunteered at for a couple weeks every year. And then 2020 hit, Peru went hardcore national quarantine, and nobody could enter, nobody could leave. And I could really say I was happily stuck at a children's home as one of the only males at a facility of nurses, cooks, teachers, social workers, filled of 40 kids, 50 kids.
You became a father figure for them.
I was the uncle who probably became a father figure, and I still stay in touch with a lot of those kids.
Fantastic.
And I yearn to visit back, and I did, and I was there for a week this time. Of course, it's not enough. Of course, it's not enough. So again, it's like, though I'm not a father like you, I've actually prayed for this because I needed things to settle on my heart. So I'm not a father. I'm not even in a committed relationship. I admit it does bother me sometimes, and I can happily say though that through prayer, He's really reassured me. It's like if you were in a committed relationship with kids, you would have not been able to do A, Y, Z, whatever. And yeah, I would have not been able to be stuck in Peru. I would have even not probably gone or not without my wife. So it really is, I see it as God's providence, God's plan, that it is the way it's what He wanted me. Like, so He's brought peace. It's not like I've missed out. I don't think I've missed out. And I've served the purpose. I've been a father, big brother to many people, and I love it. And all in due time, all in God's time. So we will go with that.
Good.
So yeah, man.
Good. Well, you filled me in a little bit about the things that you're doing. I'm here where, my work, as people probably know, I work for a Catholic organization that works with a lot of content creators. So I remember when I first started working in this world, one of my tasks was to look for new engaging guests who are out there preaching the gospel, who are out there talking about the Catholic faith, defending the church. And let me tell you, this is back in 2022. I had a very hard time finding new young people who were doing it. Here we are 3 years later and seeing the fruits of the online world just exploding. How many content creators are out there right now? And even the things that we're doing right now, though it isn't explicitly Catholic, we're holding the Catholic values. It's that framework, right? We have that foundation of Catholicism that informs the way we live. We approach our vocation. You approaching, your fatherhood to these kids, and me through now my wife and my son. So it's really cool to see all these content creators doing their thing and serving Jesus, and there's like a renaissance of Catholic content creators, the next generation of disciples and apostles out there preaching.
Dude, let me share with you a theory that I have, something that I really think is going to happen. So there seems to be a little bit of a culture shift. And without even mentioning politics and stuff, there seems like the countercultural is Catholicity right now.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't even say just conservatism, because conservatism is not radical enough. I would say Catholicity is very radical, very countercultural, and for the people who are searching, somehow find it, and boom, I would say, just the same way that we refer to the good old boys of back in the day, Tolkien, Chesterton. I mean, we're in Chesterton Cigar Bar. All the Catholic writers and philosophers and theologians. We are in an infancy, I would say, for our era.
Yeah.
And it makes me excited, dude.
Yeah. The cool thing that I've reflected on when it comes to saints, you look at them and it's never a saint it is sometimes, especially in martyrdom, but a lot of times when you see people who are canonized saints, it's never just an individual saint. There's always people around them that are either on their way to the canonization. It's holy men and women that are around them. So for one very, very clear example is St. Augustine, who clearly had if you've ever read his Confessions, he had a very interesting journey from being a sinner and even had a child outside of wedlock and eventually converted and became one of the greatest bishops and one of the greatest saints of all times. I think I could be wrong. He was known as the angelic doctor before Aquinas was given that title because of his writings. Augustine, also his mother is canonized, and also his mentor, Saint Ambrose. Ambrose, I believe. Yeah, I could be wrong. Yeah, Ambrose. But it's a group of people that are being canonized. Same thing with the founder of the Jesuits, Saint Ignatius of Loyola. You also have Peter Claver, and you have Francis Xavier. The three of them were roommates, and eventually.
Are you serious?
Yeah. The three of them were friends, close friends, and eventually went off to the ends of the earth and became these great saints who are now great examples of the faith. So it's always a group of people. So I'm looking here in this conference, and I'm thinking, I know I am sitting amidst people who will be canonized saints in the future. I don't know who they are yet, but it's all going to be based off of the fruits of their labor. And like you said, it's the infancy, current infancy of that stage, the stage that we're in, this era. But people in about 100, 200 years from now are going to look back, and they're going to have footage of all this. They're going to have, audio. They're going to have images of these gatherings and saying, oh, look, there's Saint so-and-so and Saint so-and-so. And they're all gathered together trying to build each other up for the kingdom. And it's like, that to me is so inspiring because it's happening. Mm-hmm. And all within the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And all because of YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, means which can cause great evil and great distortion of the human heart. But now they're using it to go out there and actually bring grace to people.
All colliding with a university that has done great work, colliding with a community that's developing businesses to promote community, the festivals that happen here locally, this cigar bar. Dude, before the cigar bar, I hate to admit, I still had enough energy that I wanted to stay awake. So I went to the bars. So boring. So not fun. And I wouldn't go to Pittsburgh because it would just be
and
too
temptation
far.
And secular.
Temptation. Yeah. So happy. Ever since this place opened up, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays were my spot here. And Thursday, salsa dancing, Friday, whatever other event, etc. So to your point, though, I thought about this for long and hard for a while. It's a little daunting, I would say, to even propose to the friends here. Be like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, we are the examples for the future? But isn't that what you want? You want to leave a legacy, something good for the community of the future. Like, imagine if they say, let's just say I was talking to a buddy named Joseph. They're like, yeah, Joseph, he loved his guns, good old boy, hung out with Junior, that Latin dancer. What a weird mix, right? Which it truly is. Yeah. And then different personalities. But they all collabed, they all met, they all joked here at a cigar bar on a frequent basis. So, and I mentioned my name, but I'm like, that to me it seems really daunting. Like Junior wouldn't even be in that category. What are you talking about? But I've heard somebody say that you should start putting your name out there, to start calling yourself out, to you could be that. Well,
you're calling yourself to account. You're calling yourself to something greater, because if you want to name yourself amongst those great names, you have to try to live up to it. And if you're talking about it, you better be doing the back end work, as Keith Nestor was just mentioning in one of the panel, saying in order for you to actually go out there and do great things, you can't just go out there and try to get clicks and views. You actually have to work on who you are in the background, staying close to the sacraments, making sure you have an actual prayer life. I was talking to one of my colleagues, and he's like, what content should we make? Like, what should we talk about in collaborations? And I was like, well, why don't you ask people, what are the devotions? What are the devotions? Because a lot of times, we're out there and we're making podcasts, but sometimes they don't see the actual devotions in play. We hear them, but it's good for people to know the things that are keeping us going. So for me, one of the things that I'm trying to instill in my son, and my wife and I are doing it. So every night we're already starting to read to Chulito, and we read him a couple of books. We say a couple of prayers, and we always end our prayer night as we're putting him to bed. We sing the Salve Regina, and it's these little devotions that are constant reminders that we need to constantly be better. Every step of the way, and not just for me, but also for my son. And it should be like that for everybody. And I think it is. I really do think it is. So,
have you ever heard the definition of magnanimity in the spirit, like the actual definitions of it? And I hope I'm remembering correctly. Magnanimity means hearing the call of God and answering the call, while despair is hearing the call of God and turning away from it. When I first heard it explained that way, it really bothered me, because I could honestly say, yeah, there's some things that I totally, I'm there. And then there's some things that I totally am not ready to, not wanting, and I've shared some with you. Even the thing maybe in my early 30s where I was like, I know I should want to get married. If I had to be honest, Chulo, I don't want to get married. I'm kind of just having fun, going with the flow. That, I would say, is not being magnanimous. I wasn't turning to despair, but that was maybe it's. So So that was an easy example for me to not, as you're saying, living up to the challenge. And then despair totally makes sense why somebody would end up in the depths of despair is because they're constantly saying no, they're turning away from God's call.
It's very easy to say, oh yeah, I'm doing these things to the things that come easy to you. But it's not very easy to say yes to God in the things you find difficult. I recently had a conversation with a friend. We had a little bit of a, kind of blew up on each other a little bit, and he's a great, incredible servant of God. Has lived an amazing life, and he was telling me, I served God in all these different ways, but he said, well, you know what? I think I'm going to do this one thing that, God's going to forgive me. I'm great at all these other things, but God's going to forgive me if I do this. And I try to gently, like, well, hold on a second. Let me ask you a question. Are you going to do this right? And he didn't want to give me a straight answer. I was like, are you going to do this right? He's like, well, look, I'm doing all these great things. I'm out there serving the homeless. I'm out there every day doing this. Like, okay, you didn't answer my question. Are you going to do this one thing right? And he got so mad at me. And he said, I thought you were my brother, and just blew up on me. I was like, hey, listen. And he hung up on me. And then he texted me. And he said, I thought you were my friend and this and that. And he said, I'll stay away from you. Oof. And all I responded with, I am not your enemy. I praise you and I cheer you for all the great things you do for God. Wow. Do not turn your back on me. Like, I'm your brother. I'm here to walk with you. Iron sharpens iron. And this is what I'm trying to do. You call me out whenever I need to get my act together. That's what I'm doing for you. And I know how bad you want this one thing, and it's not good for you. It's like, but you know what you need to do. And it doesn't matter if you're doing all these other great things. If you're failing God in this thing, that's where the devil seeps in. That's where he comes in. It just needs a little opening to destroy your life. And he didn't respond after that. And about a day or two ago, he sent me a text message and he says, I'm really sorry for what I said. My passion needs to be toned down, and thank you for being my brother. Beautiful. I'm like, all right.
Doesn't happen all the time.
It doesn't happen all the time. And sometimes it takes years.
Sometimes it
takes years in order for that to get back to that position.
Yeah.
So,
my friend, career-wise, future-wise, what's it look like for you? You're with Catholic Answers, and tell me more.
So I just got after I got back from paternity leave, I had a meeting with my director, and I am officially the sole producer for the show, for our show. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So I'm officially the sole producer.
Now, for those who don't know what a producer means, what does that mean?
So I get to do all the ideation, getting guests and topics for our show, trying to make our show as relevant as possible and bringing it up to date.
Right on.
So I'm part of my job here at this conference is trying to see who are the people that are serving God who would be good to have on the show, which topics we can get. So I am in charge of it, and I'm going to try to give the show a nice, beautiful facelift and make it look nicer, make it look better. And it's such a fun job. Like, I get to go and talk to people who are making a huge difference in the world. Like, so and I'm starting to see how God is putting me in this place, because I walked in to the hall over there, and I walking in, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Oh, hey, what's up? So I'm getting to see all these people. And then one of my colleagues, she's like, you know a lot of people, don't you? It's like, actually I do. It's what a blessing that I get to be in this position to be as now the sole producer of Catholic Answers.
And I think what separates what you're doing from, let's say, a corporate type job is that you're going in there. In a corporate type job, they'll meet each other. It's like, oh, I did a business deal with that person, and therefore, there's a win-win here. Yeah. But no, this is a person who was, one, awesome, and then two, he's building up the kingdom of God.
Exactly.
It's like totally different mentality, totally different world.
Yeah.
So cool, dude. Are you gonna still continue that Respuestas Católicas?
So
which is Catholic Answer Spanish version.
So I want to, and I think I'm going to continue to work on it. It's going to take a little more effort because a lot of my time and energy is shifting so much on the producer side of it. But I will continue to do Respuestas Católicas. It's going to take a little more time. It's going to take I'm going to be a little bit slower in producing the content, but I'm going to continue to do it because, as you know, our Hispanic people need to know their faith a lot.
They know it by heart.
They know it by heart, but they don't actually understand why they're doing things.
Yeah, your answers are usually, well, you just have to trust God more and pray more.
Exactly. There's a deep devotion.
'Cause-
My father put it best. He says, I don't know a lot about our church, but I know prayer works. And I was like, that's beautiful. It's like, I have a hard time seeing prayer work, but I know it's true, and I understand the arguments, and I'm making that connection through the heart now because of having the knowledge, getting the degree in theology, and now working in this world and listening to apologetics every single day. I understand the knowledge. I understand the arguments for all of it, and I think I'm trying to divide those two different worlds that the Hispanic world lives in. The charismatic, more of the heart, and we have to bring that mind, because a lot of our Hispanic countries are losing the faith. They're losing the heart because of secular ideas coming in, a lot of these like liberal ideas that are contrary to church teaching. The whole abortion thing just seeping in is really changing the groundwork of these countries. So bringing in the arguments is going to be super, super big to continue to keep these countries Catholic, Hispanic people Catholic, and just empowering them. There's a few. I've been researching a lot on content creators, the Catholic content creators in Spanish, and there's a few of them. There needs to be more, but there's very few of them that are out there doing work. But the Spanish world does not have the depth that the English-speaking world has, and that's what we're trying to change. So
good, man. Good. The Carol Wojtyła or somebody said sometimes poverty allows the heart to embrace Christ more than the comparable person.
That's right.
And knowing my abuelita, and also my abuelito, there is just like an instinct for them. It's an instinct for them, and I wish I had it. I wish I know less theology and just more of that heartfelt instinct of recoil anytime something bad happens, and anytime something good happens. I wish I had that recoil. Something I hopefully will want to attain.
We continue the mission. That's what we're here for, and that's why we do what we do for Jesus.
So the future of the podcast, what are we aiming for? We're still hoping to be mainstream, touch secular topics, everyday issues of men. Mm-hmm. Mission statement of to affirm men, regain the trust lost from women. Mm-hmm. And I remember you and I went in depth with that, and that was very important for us because I definitely understand the feminist movement. We understand the feminist movement. It was like a response to, let's say, loss of trust towards men. We failed them, I would say, as a community, as a whole. We were that Adam in the garden that let evil seep in. So where can we start with what we can control? That's an ongoing thing for us. It's like, where can we start? What can you do? You can start and do what you can control, which is yourself. Only you can control yourself. And by controlling what? Controlling yourself, making yourself, doing what it takes to become a better person. Hearing advice from great mentors, great leaders. And I would say the greatest of them are probably like the saints.
Yeah.
Christ.
That's right.
The greatest book, the Bible.
That's right.
So I think everybody could hear the gathering going on upstairs.
We got to join them.
Yeah, it's about to be a jazz night down here. It's about to be it's fun. This will be your first jazz night here at Chustin's, dude. Right. It's awesome, dude. The place starts jamming.
Yeah, I'm disappointed I'm not dressed for the occasion, just like you.
I don't think I'm dressed for the occasion either. Yeah, I actually wanted to bring a cane. I forgot my cane, but for next time. So we are here again, Papi and Chulo, for another great episode. Brother, hopefully sooner than later.
Absolutely.
I understand, you have your wife and baby, but hopefully sooner than later.
Absolutely. We'll stay consistent with the show, and as much as possible, even though life gets wild, we're brothers, and we're going to keep moving forward, and we are going to regain the trust of women while reaffirming men.
I am Papi.
And I am Chulo.